The New York Open fade setup is fairly simple. If you get like an inside day or a ranging day, let's say daily open is here, okay? And the price action leading up to New York is mostly range bound, right? But importantly, you have untapped liquidity either side of the daily range, right? That's important, okay? Realistically, you don't want these big drops down to take liquidity or these big pumps to take liquidity. You want there to be a relatively good amount of liquidity either side of the range, right? At that point, you also want to be pulling your daily profile, okay? Now, there's an indicator that does this automatically. It's PVP. This is what it looks like. I've aligned this to the right because it makes it easier to see. This is the current daily PVP, periodic volume profile, right? You can also pull it manually by using the fixed range volume profile tool, the F or VP tool. These are all default tools, by the way. That will give you a profile for the day. What I mean by profile is it'll give you like a volume profile that looks like this, okay? And in that volume profile, that also gives you a value area high and a value area low, okay? So this gives you VAH, and this gives you VAL. VAH and VAL, this is just the first standard deviation of volume traded in this range, right? That's all that the value area is, okay? It just takes the profile and it gives you the top, I think it's like 68% of volume traded in that profile. It's just the first standard deviation. I think the standard deviations are like, the first is like 68%, the second is like 90, but the first one is definitely 68%. So this is basically the first standard deviation, the top 68% traded in this range, okay? Is everyone following so far? It sounds a little bit complicated, but it's actually very straightforward once you kind of see it in practice, okay? So white line here is price. We've had a choppy inside day, okay? We have liquidity both sides of the range. Then New York happens. New York Open happens, right? And New York opens with a very strong move in one direction. We get a strong move in one direction. Boom. That takes liquidity at the top of the range and then reverses. Now you see that so often. You see that so often. You'll see this liquidity get taken, value area high gets tagged. Think of it as resistance, it's overhead resistance. Price puts in a little, you know, MXMX on low time frame. For anyone wondering what MXMX means, I made a post about it on my Twitter. Basically like a little break-in structure here. And then we move towards the bottom of the range, the bottom of the daily range, to take this liquidity level here. That shit happens a lot. Now, I was always making that post and still do make that post a lot, you know, that pumping on New York Open remains one of the most bearish low time frame signals in crypto, right? So I was making this post. Most of the time I wasn't trading that, but if I ever got a pump that satisfied this criteria, so it was a pump to take liquidity at daily VAH, right, followed by a break-in structure, then yeah, this was like a free money printer, right? And the same is applicable to the downside. What I will say is that taking the short has been higher probability for basically most of the last 2 months because you're trading in the direction of the high time frame trend, which is down, right? High time frame trend is down, therefore shorts are going to be higher probability. But that's basically it. That is how you trade the New York Open reversal, right? How would you enter? The entry is here, my man. That's the entry. Been trading it quite a bit. We took some live trades on this a couple of times in the last few weeks. I know Victor was printing money with this setup quite a lot. But yeah, that's it.